All right, everybody, welcome back to the Zach and Sully podcast. Got another episode for you here. Got a bunch of stuff we can get into today. Obviously, last night with the Grammys, we had a lot of surprises. A couple of things that didn't shock us. We're gonna get into a little bit more about the rules of the Grammys and a couple other things that kind of confused us. I'm here with my buddy Sully over in Lee, Mass. Just to mention, not like last time. I'm in Columbus. He's in Lee.
It would be cool if you were in Lee, Mass. I wouldn't oppose, but I don't think you want to be out here.
I think either one of us suck right now. I just walked to class this morning in Columbus and just slush all over the place. It's disgusting. But yeah, we're gonna get into the Grammys. We're gonna get Grammys. We're gonna review a little bit of the Kanye album for both of our opinions on that. And then yeah, we're gonna get into the dunk contest and a few other things and talk some Peyton Manning later on in the show. So all right, let's begin. So Grammys last night. What are your thoughts, Sully? Give me some stuff that surprised you and some stuff that didn't surprise you.
The James Bay Tori Kelly performance was the highlight of the night, I think. Or it was up there. It was Kendrick's performance was fuego too, but I think that surprised me. I've listened to James Bay before. I didn't really know who Tori Kelly was that much. I have heard her music. I think Megan Trainor winning Best New Artist, I disagree with that. I think it's cool because she's a girl from the Cape, and she has had a lot of success, and she kind of breaks the mold as far as pop stars go. I don't think she deserved to win Best New Artist over Tori Kelly or Kendrick, over James Bay.
There was another artist in there too, Courtney Barnett. Her first album was pretty good too. I enjoyed that one. I think it was Sometimes I Think When I Sit, and Sometimes I Sit and I Think, or whatever. It's a long title, but that one was a good album too. And yeah. And just to go on what you said about Meghan Trainor winning Best New Artist, I don't understand these rules that the Grammys has. Like Taylor Swift has that album, 1989, came out in October 2014. So already a year and a half has almost passed since that came out, and it wins the best album at the Grammys for 2016. I mean, if the album doesn't make the cutoff date, I think the cutoff date is completely stupid. Like, how long does it take these voters to decide on what the album of the year is? They have 5 albums they have to nominate. That takes a little bit. You can just kind of talk about what people are ranting and raving about online, and then you make your decision. What is the cutoff, and why does it take such a long time for these people to make their mind up about things? It doesn't make any sense.
Not to mention that album, it's not like it was Beck, and where Beck has a huge following and a certain distinction, but he's not really huge on radio. Like, he's not going to get a ton of airtime outside of radio stations that really appreciate that kind of music. Taylor Swift is getting airplay everywhere, so it's not like you didn't have enough exposure to it. That album, I read this the best. I read it was an article on who I think it was Rolling Stone, who was going to win which Grammy award, and it said that 1989 doesn't stand a chance at winning album of the year, which obviously proved wrong. But they said that it didn't have a chance because it feels 20 years old. That album feels so old.
See, I would have disagreed with that article. I would have picked it to win because the Grammys always seem to give the edge to Taylor Swift. And I'm not taking any credit away from Taylor Swift. She is a very, very, very talented musician, and she writes her own songs. She plays the instruments. I have all the respect in the world for her. But I just think that when you have an album like "To Pimp a Butterfly" by Kendrick Lamar, it's very, very tough to ignore the message that's in that album, the praise it got, and the production on the album as well. And yeah, it might sound a little biased, I guess, but that is also an album that came out in 2015. It didn't come out almost 2 years ago. It's fresh, it's new, and I'm just kind of baffled by that. It wasn't like I was pissed that it was oh, that's a terrible album, it shouldn't have won. But the album came out in 2014. Why should an album in 2014 win a Grammy for the album of the year in 2016? It makes no sense. I don't get it.
Here's the beef I have with it. 1989 is a very, very good album, very good pop album. I think Taylor did a great job with it. Every one she worked on with it is fantastic. Blank Space is fire. All those Shake It Off, obviously wicked catchy, tons of airplay. But To Pimp a Butterfly will go down as one of the best hip hop records of all time, hands down.
It's gonna go. I think might go down as the best album of this decade. Right now, I think it's the best album of the decade. And comparing it now to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which was praised as no one's going to top this, I think it's in a completely different class of its own right now, production-wise. I mean, there's songs on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, yeah, it's part of the album, but you can kind of I don't really feel listen to it. Just when I listen to the whole album by Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly, I always find myself listening it track from track to track. I don't no skips, no nothing. It's a fantastic album. So
the great thing about To Pimp a Butterfly is that Kendrick goes out, he releases Good Kid, Mad City, right? He's telling a story. It's kind of it's very issue oriented. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing revolves around him growing up in Compton and growing up with people who are his boys, but you know they might not be the best crew to run with. And he has one whole song just dedicated to breaking into a house. Like it's an awesome album. It's like a look into the live.
It's a listening experience.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you get sidetracked on certain things. It makes you think. Like I felt like whenever I hear the art of peer pressure, like my mind immediately goes into like story mode. Like I forget everything that's going on around me, and like I picture myself in the beat, the lyrics, the darkness of the song. It transports you into this like setting that he himself describes perfectly, and like the imagery of it is like fantastic. And he does a lot of that with To Pimp a Butterfly, and that's what I feel like people miss out on when they listen to albums and stuff. And yeah, like we're not taking credit away from Taylor Swift, but like when you listen to her album, it's like, yeah, it's happy-go-getty music, but I don't really like it. It doesn't like, I don't have much of a emotion towards it, I guess. Besides, like, obviously it's upbeat. Shake It Off is a great pop song, but I don't know. I guess I'm being a little biased here. Yeah, I guess.
So the great thing about To Pimp a Butterfly is that he could have made a good Kid, Mad City too, and it would have sold a ton of albums, and it would have been nominated for just as many awards, and it would have been great. But he was like, you know what? I did that, and it was his first big album. No one really listened to Section 80 at all. And he was like, all right, I'm going to go do something different. And he brings funk into it. He has horns. He has a whole different sound. He still has the social justice type theme tied to it, which is great, but he doesn't do it in the exact same way and make it boring. He gives us something completely different, and that's the best part of that. That's why To Pimp a Butterfly is going to go down as one of the greatest albums of all time.
Yeah, I felt like I mean, he did win a bunch of Grammys for it, but it should have gotten more praise than it did. So yeah, the other thing I want to discuss is I don't understand this bullshit anymore. What the hell is the difference between Record of the Year and Song of the Year? I don't get it. What does that even mean anymore?
I don't know, man. I think it's
Ed Sheeran wins Song of the Year for Thinking Out Loud, and then Uptown Funk wins Record of the Year. What's the difference? It doesn't make any sense. You have album, you have record and song, but record and song are both two songs. So you have two songs that win an award for two different categories, but they're both singles. What does that even mean? I don't get that.
The only thing I could say is maybe record goes into a song that's got more than one people contributing to it. Like, you know, it's Ronson and Bruno Mars and Uptown Funk. Whereas as song is just by the artist. Maybe it's written by someone else, but there's no other contribution to it. You know what I mean?
I don't understand that. I think it seems like it's more of a category just to like get more winners in the situation, I guess. I don't know. I didn't necessarily have a problem with Ed Sheeran winning Song of the Year, but it was also matched up against Kendrick Lamar's All Right, which is a great song. I honestly wasn't mad about it. That was a very popular song on the radio. I think Ed Sheeran's a very, very talented dude. I'm not taking any credit away from him. I am not displeased or like I'm content with it. That's fine with me if you want that.
You know what I think is really cool though? So for best song or best album, any way you look at it, Taylor Swift, you know, Ed Sheeran won best song, and after she won best album, she went over and she gave Kendrick a big hug. I think it's really cool how the best artists across genres are kind of like crossing boundaries and being friends with one another and doing songs with one another. Obviously, Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift are huge friends. They're best friends. They toured together a couple years ago. Obviously, the song "Bad Blood," the music video, and everything like that. Taylor Swift does that with Kendrick. Fantastic collab. But I think it's pretty cool how they're kind of breaking down genres. I don't really know if you saw that much.
No, I did. I recognized it a bit. It's definitely good to see that people are at least mingling with one another over different songs and like genres and kind of mixing things up a bit.
It's definitely different. It is absolutely different. It's not something you would have seen 10, 15 years ago, I don't think.
No, I definitely agree with that. What else did I think was interesting? I actually really, really enjoyed Lady Gaga's performance of David Bowie. That tribute was awesome.
I don't think I like Lady Gaga. I think that's my own fault. I thought it was good. I'm not going to hate on it. I just wasn't wowed.
I think she's one of the best performers of our generation. I think she's fantastic. She literally, I felt like the dress up, that was a perfect role for her because she kind of she fits the role of all the makeup and the weirdness of it. And I felt like you can definitely tell that David Bowie was a huge influence on her life. I felt like I thought the makeup and everything was great. I thought she performed the songs great. I love the song choices that she chose. I enjoyed it. I just feel like people have a bone to pick with her because she's a pop artist. She's weird. Yeah, she had the meat dress thing that a couple years ago, and I feel like a lot of people are scarred by that. So people have this opinion of Lady Gaga that just kind of get on her nerves. And people are the same way about Taylor Swift. Like, oh, I can't stand Taylor Swift. It's because she is always in the spotlight. She's always popular, and people like to hate on people that are successful. But I'm not criticizing you for not liking the performance or the rendition of the David Bowie tribute, but I just think that a lot of people criticize her just because of their opinion of like what she is as a pop singer or the way she acts in public. Oh, Lady Gaga is really weird, but that's exactly what David Bowie was like. And David Bowie and Lady Gaga, they have a lot of similarities for stage presence and the weirdness they bring. They're always changing wardrobes. They're always changing their hairstyles and stuff. They have this whole like drag queen like makeup all over the place kind of like persona of themselves. So I feel like I enjoyed it a lot, and I respected it. And any other tribute to any artist that I like that maybe another artist like would enjoy as well, I got no problem with that, unless you completely just butcher it. But I don't think she did. I thought she did a great job.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna bash it. I totally got goosebumps when she started and she's laying down. She sings, her eyes are closed. She goes ground control to Major Tom. I think I do have a little bit of beef with it because
the only thing I'll take out of that is I'm sorry, Lady Gaga, you gotta floss those teeth. Oh my God, that was gross. I'm sorry. That was disgusting.
I didn't even notice that at all.
They were talking about that on Barstool last night too, and I noticed on the close-up as well. And yeah, obviously we don't. This whole new motto for this generation, like we don't demand perfection. We don't care if you're fat, skinny, blah blah blah. But no, you gotta brush your teeth. And you got to take care of those. I mean, that was the only thing I'll take away from the performance. And yeah, people are gonna think I would be an asshole for saying something like that, but that's not being an asshole. That's just looking out for somebody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dental hygiene, man. You know, all those album sales. You think she'd get dental insurance?
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think she cares really. So.
No, I didn't.
What about Pitbull ending the Grammys? Like, are you fucking kidding me with that?
More importantly, what about Pitbull playing with the guitarist of Aerosmith and the drummer of Blink-182? You know, Travis Barker.
Yeah, that had my head in the knot. I did not understand that whatsoever. And like, I just think that Pitbull is like this. He is such a product of the record industry. Like he has like somebody do his own songs for him. He's not really an artist. He's more of he's a performer, I guess. I don't even know if I would say performer. You see him dancing with the what's her name from Modern Family last night?
Yeah, Sophia
Vergara. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't dance either.
I know. I don't know, man.
Music, he can't dance. He's just a guy on stage like going dale. Like I just don't think he has like much of like a talented purpose out there.
It's just a 305 Coyote.
But it pisses people off like me is because like, dude, like I could probably go on stage and if I had accents like that, I could say whatever the hell I want. I could make millions off of it.
Yeah.
There's nothing he did on stage that wasn't like anything impressive. And to make matters worse, he brings Robin Thicke on stage, who is just completely fallen apart since the Blurred Lines song. I
don't know. I mean, Robin Thicke he's made appearances with hip hop artists before, so that didn't surprise me. But
I'm not saying that he doesn't fit the requirement. I'm just saying I don't know why they brought him on stage out of all people.
Well, I couldn't believe they brought Joe Perry and Travis Barker on stage. What? They had no business being there, you know?
Joe Perry should not have been on the same stage as him. No.
He was shredding it up though. Did you hear the guitar solo?
Mm-hmm.
It was fantastic. And I think that's what they wanted. I think they were like, well, Pitbull's going to close it. We need to keep the older generation kind of in check. You know, we'll throw Aerosmith and Blink-182. Hope that people
don't forget Johnny Depp on guitar.
Yeah, that's right.
And Alice Cooper running around swinging a wand at people with makeup on. That was great to see. But yeah, I don't know. There is obviously some questionable things, but like that's every year at the Grammys. There's always some things that you never really understand. So, all right, I guess we can wrap that up now. The moment we've all been waiting for. We got to talk about this. The new Kanye West album, The Life of Pablo. So we gave a little bit of a preview of it last show. We decided what we were going to expect. So, Sully, I've already given you my opinion on it. I'm going to get to mine in a bit, but I just want to hear what you had to say about this. So what are your initial thoughts about the new album? Honest opinion. I don't want you to bring in any of the hype of the past album. What do you think about this album?
First run through of The Life of Pablo, I hated it. I did not like it. I kind of talked to a lot of people about that. I mean, I talked to you about it. We weren't in separate boats, but I'll let you get to your bit in a second. And a big problem I had with that, I'd bring it up to people and I'd be like, there's moments where I'm bored There's moments where I'm not wowed, and that's not Kanye. You know
it's a sloppy production. And there's idiots on Twitter that are ranting about how this is a production like masterpiece. It's not a production masterpiece. Everything's out of place. And it's not meant to be that way. People are like looking at, oh, well, the album cover is messy. That's a kind of like symbolism for what the album is. I'm like, that's not. It's just somebody throwing a bunch of songs together and slapping it around and saying it's art and that it's weird that Kanye's doing this stuff.
See, before I listened to it, I read something that said that Kanye described it as a gospel album with a lot of cursing. And I think that would have been fantastic if he stuck with that idea. But it didn't stay with that theme. It bounced around a lot. Look, I'm not going to bash it. I think, if you want my honest opinion, I think the album was 6 songs too long. And
absolutely. If you look at the original track listing he had, there's great songs. The songs I enjoyed the most were on that original one, and then he adds all this ridiculous crap that makes no sense that even needs to be on the album. It's just completely I don't understand why it's there.
What if he's just screwing around with us and then he releases the album to iTunes and everything next week?
He's not. He's not screwing around because he said that he's not going to sell the album on iTunes. He's going to sell it on Tidal. He's not. I'm so pissed off at him right now. It's not even that I'm disappointed in him. I just think that he's just becoming worse and worse of a human being every single year. But I'll get to that in a minute. But keep going on with the album. I'll discuss.
I think he's losing his mind.
He is losing his mind because didn't somebody just come out and say that he seriously needs help? Like he needs to talk to somebody?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
It was one of his past writers. I'll look up his name right now, but he came out and tweeted and said, Kanye West needs help. Like he needs to see somebody now. He is losing his mind.
I think, all right, so of the album itself, first run through, you listen to Ultralight Beam. I think that song is perfect. I think
that is a great intro. I like that song too. I thought Chance's verse was good. Kirk Franklin, she sounded amazing on the track. The offbeat drum that has the hip hop style on it was great too. Was it like a little undertone, a little boring for like a intro song? Yeah, it might have been, but it was still a very beautiful song, and like the singing on it was phenomenal.
I think that I'm looking up the track list right now, just trying to.
I have it right here, but then he ruins it by going in "Father Stretch My Hands," and then he has Kid Cudi on the hook, and he says like maybe 8 words, and Kanye's back into his auto-tune singing the hook. So he goes right from this beautiful gospel song into this weird like auto-tune garbage, and then the next song, you can I don't know, like the beat was good, but then like it slows down to this melody, and like he starts mumbling and like auto-tune again, like "Lost in the Woods" from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So that one was all right.
Did you like Famous?
Famous was good. I liked Famous. I thought Rihanna's vocals were good on it. Swiss beats on it was good to see. It was the first time. It was like, dude, we waited 3 songs, and then finally Kanye started rapping. I was like, all right, there we go. He's finally starting to come back to his old like late registration college dropout thing, and even a little bit of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It sounds like it, you know. And then even Feedback. You know, Wes is alone and like he's by himself, but the lyrics once again seem to get kind of repetitive, and that was kind of the theme of the album. We start hearing stupid slang and stupid like remarks that we already know about. We know you're married to Kim Kardashian. We know you're rich. We know you're a successful rapper. You don't need to tell us this anymore, dude. We get it.
So how about all the references to that cousin that stole his laptop? What do you think about that?
I mean, it sucks that it happened, but like it's like, you know, like is that why he's losing his mind? Is because of that? Does that have? Is he like? I don't necessarily know what I mean. Was he trying to tell us like, oh well, I had all these great ideas, and then he stole my laptop, and I had to get it back from him, and I couldn't get him back. Was that even the story? Like, I don't get it. Did he get his computer back? Did he get his music back? I don't get it.
Well, I think it was more of a metaphor that like you gotta love your family even if they're scumbags. But I don't know. It seemed weird and out of place. It didn't seem like it fit in. Do you know what I mean?
Lowlights and Highlights are 2 of the worst songs I've ever heard. Lowlights, dude. What about Lowlights? That line of him saying that he was having sex with a model who just bleached her asshole, and if he gets bleach on his shirt, he's gonna feel like an asshole. That is so stupid. That is not genius. That is just so like that's saying like, oh yeah, well, it makes sense, I guess. But such like a weird line to even like bring up. And then that other weird line on Highlights with Young Thug that he wished he had a GoPro on his penis.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
21 Grammys. We get it. You're successful. It just gets very generic. There's a lot of electronic fuzzy beats in the background for portion of the song, a lot of Yeezus influence. It gets a little better as the song progresses. I don't know what his deal is with The Dream is. The Dream is something we listened to when we were in 8th grade. I haven't really paid much attention to him, so I don't understand why he loves him so much and have him on the album. I just didn't really think it was like – he was on like 3 songs on this album. Guess he just has nowhere to go. He's just been hanging out with Kanye for the last like few months, I guess.
So my beef is with Wolves because I think that song should have been way better. I think C is fantastic. When I heard her howling in the background, I was actually like, all right, I like this. I like this idea. You know,
was it her howling? Because now I'm hearing reports saying that she was completely removed from the song and that wasn't even her to begin with.
I don't know. It sounded like her though.
That's what I thought too. But like, C is a good singer. Like that's the only purpose Kanye used it for, just a howl in the background. And then Chance was supposed to be on that song too, but he produced it. He didn't even appear on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was pretty weird, but I don't know. That song let me down tremendously. I thought that could have. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, and you know, maybe I need to let it sit on the shelf for a little bit. I told a good friend of mine. I said I'm gonna say what I think right now, but my final opinion on the album will be a week from now when I've heard it a couple times, and I might change my mind. I liked it the second time and the third time better than I did the first time. I think a lot of people. Are
you telling yourself that because you want to, because you're like very invested in Kanye, or
no, I don't care, man. He's still got another 8 awesome albums that are fantastic. If this one sucks, it sucks. Everyone has a bad album.
Yeah, I'm not saying that at all. I don't understand the praise that people are giving it on Twitter. I think people are just so want to be part of the hype.
Well, dude, it's not just Twitter though. Like Pitchfork came out and they said it was awesome.
Pitchfork, but they have a hard on for Kanye. They'll give anything that he puts out like anything over a 9. Like that, like no, you know, I read their blogs. I read their blogs a lot, but they're very, very like.
Well, it's because they're Chicago based, and they kind of were based around Kanye when he was up and coming, and before anyone really knew him.
That's why there's no way in hell that's a 9 out of a 10 album. And then what else is on there? I love Kanye. I used to love Kanye.
But that's just an intro though. I'm not gonna crap that.
It's not, but like Sully, this is a fill-in track. This is part of the album that he put on. He put this on the album for people to listen to, and he's claiming that this is one of the greatest album ever, and it's a stupid song. It's dumb.
Yeah, but it's only 45 seconds. It's not a full song. It's like an interlude. You know?
But that's what I'm talking about. These unnecessary things that he has on the album, like Silver Surfer intermission, just to tell the world that him and Max B are tight because he stole the Waves album. You can tell this was rushed. That call must have happened like 2 weeks ago. He just put this shit together and just put it on out and like whatever. I guess people will like it. I guess.
I don't know. I don't think he's. I'm not going to go as far as to say that because I think he's someone who puts thought into whatever he does because he's such a narcissist that he doesn't want to put anything out that's less than perfect. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that he would just put the phone call on there to be like, the hell with it. I can do this because I'm Kanye. I think he does.
That's why I disagree with you.
I think he genuinely thought it would help the album. I don't think it did, but I
think it helped Kanye, not the album. I think it helped him. His image is what he cares about more, I think. Because he got a lot of backlash for stealing that album cover, Waves. You know that whole feud with Wiz Khalifa? He was worried about his image being damaged. He will do anything to make himself loved because, like we said, I think he has a problem. I think he needs to talk to somebody, and that's why he's all about, this isn't a big deal. Just like when he came out and clarified the whole thing with Taylor Swift, saying that he got that approved, which you could tell definitely was not approved after what Taylor Swift said at her acceptance speech about the album yesterday. So that was complete BS. So I just think that, like, and I'm not I don't know, dude. I don't get it.
Sorry, you broke up a little bit. Can you just repeat what you said the last time?
I don't think it broke up. I just think that our computer froze. We'll figure out on the YouTube though, because we had that situation happen last time when I watched the video over again at that part. It was fine. It was just one of our screens got froze.
Okay.
So we'll find out. But if not, I'll add another comment to it. But I'm not gonna completely bash it. The end of the album was good. I did like the end.
I did not like
Fade.
You didn't like Fade?
No, I just thought Ty Dolla $ign sounded awful on it. I thought that it was just the beats were atrocious. I wasn't a fan of the beats, I guess. I don't know.
I think Vax is a good song, but
Vax was great. No More Parties in LA, awesome song. Here's my deal with 30 Hours. First half of 30 Hours, great. Love the beat, great rapping. He opened up the song, and then the second half of it is just the beat going on for 2.5 minutes while Kanye just rambles. He just keeps rambling about stupid stuff. It's like That song should have just stopped and then went right into No More Parties in LA. It was just unnecessary stuff on the album, I felt.
A lot of people I know think it's his second best album, and
no way, it is. Better than Late Registration, better than College Dropout, better than Graduation.
College Dropout.
No freaking way, Sully.
I'm not saying that it is, man. I'm not saying that it is.
You're gonna talk to your friends, man. This is I just no. Like I knew when I heard Power come out in 2010 when we were seniors in high school, I knew that album that Kanye was gonna put out. I knew that was gonna be a good album. I knew it. And even when I was in 7th grade, when the first rap album I ever bought in stores, Late Registration, when I bought that album, I knew that was gonna be a good album. But this one is just like it's rushed. It's not good production. Their songs are not that good.
Now, I'm going to give you the same short. I want it to sit on. We have our first opinions. I'm not in love with it. You don't like it. Let it sit on the shelf and re-listen to it a couple times in a week. Let it sit. Because I think, personally, I hyped it up too much myself. That's what I think. And I think Kanye did that to himself, too, a little bit, saying it's the best album ever created. It's not even his. Man, I think it's his worst album.
It's bad. It's really bad.
But I love everything else he puts out, so that's not necessarily a knock on him. You know what I mean?
Everyone has a bad album, and I know the diehard Kanye fans are gonna be pissed off because it's just like, you know, they have this very deep connection with them, and I know my brother Jake is probably praising the album, but I feel like there's no way he can think that it's his best one. There's no way.
A lot of people. So I think what's awesome about Kanye is that a lot of people can relate to him. Like the reason College Dropout is it's his best album is because a lot of people can relate to it. And then he goes ahead like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like you can relate to like All of the Lights.
But but the production on that album is phenomenal too. Like the song transition, like the beats are good, the lyrics are good. But compared to that, this album is a sloppy, all over the place mess. I feel.
I don't know. I think maybe. Like I said, it could come out, and maybe he was trying to do that. What do you like? Did you like Yeezus?
I didn't hate it, but I just haven't gone back to it. I just didn't really care for it. I didn't say it was bad or good, but I just never really went back to it.
I loved it. I loved it upon first listen.
Yeah, I love Black Skinhead. That's a great song. I mean, On Sight's a good one. Bound 2, obviously, but and Blood on the Leaves. But you know, like it's just I don't like this talk thing that Kanye's doing. I just wish he would rap again. And like it's just like. I guess it's me being like the old school fan, and like you can obviously sound like a hypocrite for saying it because he's trying something different, but it just doesn't sound good in my opinion. I just don't like I don't like this whole thing. I don't know. Maybe he's doing. You know he's not happy with this if he's still making changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it was rushed.
I think you know this guy I follow, Needle Drop, Anthony Fantano, great review of it yesterday. There's a couple things I disagreed with him on, but like for the most part, he said 2 things that I said that I agree with on the album. So you know how it's called The Life of Pablo, like Pablo Picasso, I think it is. He's talking about art or whatever.
I've heard something different, but go ahead and I'll explain that out.
Anyways, if it has nothing to do with that, he wants to say it's like an art piece. He said it reminds him of a Jackson Pollock painting. And if you've ever seen Jackson Pollock paintings, it's paint splattered all over the place. It's a freaking mess. And then there's the whole thing with I agree with him on this. I think the album is specifically on Tidal and won't go anywhere else because I think Kanye is realizing now the album isn't that good, and it could really show how sales will be decreasing over time. I think that's the only reason why it's on Tidal. It's exclusive. It's the only place you can get the album. It will just show good results for all his biggest fans going to stream it. I just don't think he'll ever release it because he's afraid it's going to flop.
So this is what my buddy Mario said. He's a huge Kanye fan. He's actually a rapper himself. And he said, the Pablo in Life of Pablo is Paul the Apostle. He was a man struck blind who then preached Jesus. I don't know what that has to do with Kanye, but I think he's trying to compare himself to Paul, in which case the album would not only be gospel, but something to love and loving yourself as opposed to all these rap songs about lean and cocaine nowadays. And then he said, maybe that'll help you appreciate it more. Or maybe you just need some more listens to it, or maybe it's just not your cup of tea. And I don't know. It could be any of those 3 things. And we're going
right here. This is my cup of tea, right? That album's not my cup of tea. And it's not that I'm not knocking Kanye as an artist. I'm not a fan of him as a person, but yeah, he does write good music. even I knew people when we were at Dartmouth High that was like telling me I was crazy, that I thought that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was his best album. And I know you remember this. We were in TV Tech in 2010 when me and you sat in that back room editing our videos and we listened to Power. Me and you knew that album was going to be something big when it came out. And then you had phonies like Andrew Seamus at the time telling me that it wasn't going to be a good album, and now it's being praised as one of the best rap albums of our generation. So trust me, I know when Kanye is really working hard on something. But, you know, after what he tweeted yesterday, he doesn't want people like me or you, white people specifically, reviewing his music. So I guess our opinions don't really mean that much to him.
Well, he said white publications, didn't he?
Well, Zach and Sully is a white publication, I guess so.
I don't know, man. I think, well, I don't know. He called out Pitchfork when Pitchfork loves him. So I was like, you've got some issues, dude. But
I don't know. I just think that he's just. I think he's clinically insane. But you know what? I don't think he's a great person. I just don't think this is a great album. But to be fair, for every artist out there that's been put out good albums, people have their bad albums. They happen. Not everyone can put out a good album. You know.
I think it's the Kardashian family, man.
Of course it is. Of course it's the Kardashians. They're the scum. They're the root of all evil. They're all deep down inside. They're all succubuses. And if you don't understand that reference, go watch the South Park episode on a succubus.
The James Harden, his play has gone so downhill ever since he started dating Khloe. Kanye has a couple kids with Kim. Look, I just think anyone who has enough money.
We're half white too.
What?
We're half white too.
Oh, I didn't even realize that, but
no, I'm just talking about how he's like criticizing like white media and stuff. But he's like 2 kids are like. I just think he seriously needs help, man. I think there's something wrong with him. I really do.
I mean, he's always been a little bit nuts, though. Remember the whole George P. Bush doesn't care about black people phase?
Yeah, you know, it's just he's a very, very. I just think he's got a lot of smart ideas, but he doesn't really know how to filter them. He just kind of blurts things out, and he doesn't really have like really self-control over what he says. Like, you know what I mean? Remember when he went on that tweet rampage like a couple weeks ago, and then he deleted all the tweets and said, like, all right, guys, I want nothing but positive energy. Nothing but positive energy. It's like, you're not that kind of person, man. You got to filter yourself a little bit and just kind of like, yeah, people like me are going to criticize the album and not like it, but you got to deal with it. You're an artist, dude. Not everyone's going to like your album. And I just don't think it's a very good one.
Yeah,
so that's my thoughts on the Life of Pablo. I'm done talking about that.
How about Taylor throwing shade at Kanye when she won Best Album?
I loved it. I think it's something he deserved. I mean, he obviously could tell that you can obviously tell that she did not approve of that, and she did not like the message that was conveyed about her on the album. So she made a remark about it. And what better way to do it than winning Best Album of the Year at the Grammys?
Yeah, I don't know. If I were Taylor Swift, I wouldn't let that bother me, but maybe she actually considers Kanye a friend. And maybe that's why it annoys her so much.
They made up in public, and then they had this whole entire like reconcile, and then he comes out and he just completely just botches it. So I don't know. Kanye's got to get himself figured out. He's an egomaniac. So
yeah. All right. So now that we have that taken care of,
let's get that off. I'm glad we got that off our chest. Now to move on to the next thing. All right, so I don't know how long we've been on for right now. We can maybe do a little bit of rapid fire here.
Okay.
Keep it short. So let's do a quick wrap up. Dunk contest. What are your thoughts?
That Zach LaVine was great, but he did not deserve to win.
Nope. Aaron Gordon should have won. His 2 dunks were way better than LaVine's. LaVine just happened to get a great dunk when they simply ran out of ideas, and LaVine had
sat down in the air. He sat. You know how much strength that he's 6'9". That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. He should have won that, and he will next year, hopefully.
He should have definitely won that. I think that LaVine is a fantastic dunker, and I'm like I said, I'm really excited for the players in the NBA that are coming up right now. The young guys look so great. Him, LaVine, Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, who the Cavaliers got to be kicking themselves for giving Andrew Wiggins up for Kevin Love, who, remind you, hope to God he does not get traded to Boston, him or Dwight Howard.
Now real quick, give me 2 thoughts on your on the whole Tennessee saga with the trainer suing Peyton Manning.
Like I said, I heard these weird stories coming out that ESPN was told not to report any of it yet, which I think is very, very scummy and really sketchy.
I don't think that's true because I learned about it from ESPN. They were talking about it on SportsCenter, and I went up and read more, so I don't think that's true.
Okay, so that was false then. So excuse me for that, but it was probably something from Barstool, probably because they hate ESPN. But yeah, I honestly like we'll find out more details as it comes on. If that does turn out to be true, it's just it's so you can't. It's hard to have sympathy for some of these guys. You act like an idiot, you're gonna have to pay for it later on. You can't be doing like stupid shit like that.
I read the court documents, and what Peyton did is definitely unacceptable, and it's definitely bad. But the University of Tennessee has a huge problem otherwise, because they were calling her, they were publicly calling her a lesbian when she's not. First of all, and second of all, if she was, it might have been even worse. But they were calling her really derogatory stuff in front of people. She literally had the name of like Muncher, as in like a lesbian related activity.
Yeah. That's bad. That is not good.
They literally would call her that in front of other employees, in front of prospective students, and she tried coming forward. And one of the people in athletics told her that if she wanted to be a pioneer in women's sports, that she should just shut up and take it. So the University of Tennessee has a lot of problems beyond Peyton Manning. What Peyton Manning did is not okay, but they created a whole culture there that made that okay for that to happen.
I don't care how gifted an athlete is. I don't care how much he means to the school. That kind of crap cannot be tolerated. It can't. And it's just that it really bothers me that some of these guys get special treatment just because of who they are. And it's sad too. Like the whole Jameis Winston situation, like that. If any other human being had done that, they would have been probably serving time in prison for that, or not prison, I guess, or would have gotten a lot of trouble, possibly even kicked out of school for what he did. And then, like it, and you can't really like take on like everything you hear, because there are stories that it turns out they're either false accusations or not. But this seems like something that was covered up from what you're telling me by the University of Tennessee. And Peyton Manning definitely seems like a guy who got a lot of special treatment just because of who he was, and felt like he probably could have gotten away with anything. But that is completely unacceptable and just disgusting if that turns out to be truth about Peyton Manning. And now he's got the HGH scandal going on, so things aren't looking too good for him right now. He's probably going to be riding in that same hot seat that Tom Brady was last season, even though Brady didn't do anything as drastic, I feel, as this is. This is really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty annoyed too, because I don't dislike Peyton Manning. I know him and Tom Brady are very good friends, but I don't know. People think he's such an average Joe. The whole pitch. Oh, I'm gonna go drink some Budweiser. Oh, I have all these Papa Johns. That annoys the crap out of me, man. I think you're an athlete.
Kissing Papa John at the end of the Super Bowl. Did you hear Mike Francesa say that? His rant. He was on. I don't know if you've ever listened to him before, but his New York accent. He's like, after you win the Super Bowl, you can't kiss Papa John. You can't. That's not the first guy you kiss.
He's a character. If you haven't listened to Mike Francesa, go out and search him on YouTube. He's got some weird rants. He's not very good, but he's got an awesome New York accent.
Oh, dude, I love Francesa. He's awesome. I don't care if he's not very good. His Mets rant from like 4 years ago is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. The Jet Nation rant is hysterical too. Have you heard that?
No.
He's just like, he goes, Jet Nation. What is Jet Nation? 600 people at the football stadium on Sunday? And what else is this garbage? Play like a Jet. What? Commit a penalty or fumble the ball or drop the ball? Is that play like a Jet? So he's got some good ones. But yeah, we got a little off topic. Obviously, that seems to happen a lot when me and you go in this discussion. But yeah, so we're gonna find out a little bit more about this accusation with Peyton Manning and the female at University of Tennessee. I hope it gets resolved. If he did anything wrong, I definitely feel like he should be punished for what he did. So we'll be covering that more as we develop more details. Yeah. So just two more things you want to get into. You want to just get into final thoughts right now? You got anything else you want to add?
You fire your final thought away at me.
All right, so I got a couple of them. First, after the Grammys yesterday, Paul McCartney, Beck, and Taylor Hawkins, the drummer from Foo Fighters, were denied access to Tyga's after party, which is absolutely comical to me. I don't know who Tyga put in charge. I don't know what Paul McCartney would want to be going to a Tyga party for. Same with Beck. It makes absolutely no sense to me why they want to be hanging out with that untalented loser. But yeah, it just seems like Tyga just seems like a guy who probably didn't listen to the Beatles probably growing up, or even knew of Beck, or probably even recognized Taylor Hawkins, or whoever his bouncer was. So I guess they just probably didn't even know who they were, so they just said no, which is mind-boggling to me. They didn't know who Paul McCartney was. That to me is crazy. Beck, Taylor Hawkins, I can understand that. Paul McCartney, come on, dude, don't give me that crap.
Do you know where Dave Grohl found Taylor Hawkins?
No, I feel like I've heard this before, but
Alanis Morissette. He was the Alanis Morissette drummer.
Oh, really? I didn't know that actually.
Yeah. Isn't that pretty cool? He's unreal. I think he's the best drummer in the game right now.
He's a great drummer. The Foo Fighters, awesome, one of the best bands. They're fantastic. So yeah, that happened. That's interesting. We got some TV shows that have just come back onto television and some new ones. Vinyl was awesome. I don't know what people were giving him crap for and like online. I thought it was great. Ray Romano is like a supporting cast member in it too. They had some guest appearances by people playing Led Zeppelin. Yeah, there's a bunch of violence in it. Some graphic stuff at the end, but for the most part, it was a 2-hour pilot. But it was great. I'm excited for it. It looks good. You said you should definitely check it out. I don't know if you said you haven't watched it, right?
No, I'll watch it as soon as I hang up on you, though.
It's really good. Better Call Saul came on last night. Fantastic season opener. Really excited for another season. Yeah, his characters, Saul or James McGill in the show, he is also known as Better Call Saul from Breaking Bad. They came back last night. Great opener. So, have you watched Better Call Saul at all or no?
No, I didn't watch Breaking Bad either.
See, I watched Breaking Bad a little bit. I did catch most of the big parts and like obviously know what happened with him. So I think I watched the final 3 seasons of Breaking Bad and then a little bit of the first ones. But there was a couple episodes in between I missed up on. But this is the prelude to Breaking Bad, so I guess it can cut me some slack. I guess I don't recognize some of the recognize all of them, but the big ones obviously I'd recognize in the Better Call Saul one. But I did enjoy that. Last season was great. This season looks good. Have you watched Broad City?
I've watched it before. Karen actually loves it. Our friend Karen loves it.
Broad City last season was absolutely hysterical. That was so funny. Those chicks are a riot. I love those girls. The new season, I think, is on tomorrow night, I think, at 10. Yeah. Well, we used to have these Wednesday nights in my house, like me and a couple of my friends at school, like Brian, Sarah, and a few others. We'd all come over and we'd watch Workaholics at 9:30, and then Always Sunny at 10, and then Broad City would come on at 10:30. And Workaholics compared to Broad City last season was pathetic. Broad City was so much funnier. So I'm excited to see what they have to do this year. You should check that one out. Anybody, really good stuff. They're funny girls.
My final thought: if you see The Atlantic, it's called "Can America Put Itself Back Together?" Awesome article on what makes up an up-and-coming city, and it doesn't look at big cities like Detroit or stuff like that. It looks like smaller cities like Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It looks at Redlands, California, which is right next door to San Bernardino, which had the fatal shooting in the assisted living center. We're a couple other. What are a couple other places that it talks about? It talks about I don't know, like places in Washington and stuff like that. It talks about Burlington, Vermont, and it just talks about the common things it has in places that are up and coming. So places where they aren't considered big metro areas, but they might be close to one. And it just talks about what these places are doing to kind of grab itself up by its bootstraps and make itself better. And one of the things that it all has in common is that national politics is in the back of everyone's mind. So if you're going to start talking politics, people in these places, Columbus, Ohio is actually pretty high up on the list. It says it's perfect because it's big enough to have plenty of opportunity, but small enough to get things done so people aren't overwhelmed. And like city officials aren't fighting everyone and going through a bunch of hoops. It was actually pretty interesting. But yeah, just take a listen to it. It's by, or go read it, not listen. Go read it, pick it up. It's by James Fallows, good writer. Him and his wife traveled across the U.S., so check it out. It's pretty cool.
Yep. And just one more final thought I just want to add, if any of you should go check out the story what happened with the Arizona Coyotes last night. The Coyotes goalie got hurt, and then the Coyotes backup goalie, Anders Lindback, got hurt. So Phoenix father of 2, Nathan Schoenfield, who's the backup of the backup was giving his twin boys a bath at his house when he got a call from the Coyotes that he needed to play goalie for the night. And the Coyotes won the game, too. So he was given a belt at the end of the locker room, and he was quoted at the end of the game by saying he was going to stay in the locker room for as long as he can and just soak it up. So hopefully someone should go check on the locker room. Stevie's still hanging out there. But what an awesome story that is. Imagine just being at home with your kids, and then you get called from the Coyotes. Game is about to be on. Hey, we need you down here to come play goalie. So
pretty cool. Very, very cool.
So awesome stuff. So yeah, that wraps it up. Another episode of Zach and Sully. Be sure to like our page if you like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter as well. We do this twice a week. It's been very we've had some busy lives, so it's been inconsistent, but we promise we get 2 episodes in a week. So yep, I'm Zach.
This is Sully. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you again probably on Thursday or Friday.